who do you think is ultimately responsible for the creation, the not necessarily implementation, but I guess the creation, and then the not the longevity, but the the values and culture and mission living within the organization? It's one thing to conceptualize.
Your founders create your mission. Your
Yeah.
mission can change. A
Yeah.
new founder or but the owners, like that's where it has to come from. But it also has, but a really strong CEO and a really strong owner understands how to foster culture on the front line, not just at the top of the house.
Yeah.
It's meaningless if it's just at the top of the house.
Well, how have you seen the successful ones do that?
You have to focus on the front line as the most important. Like, honestly, that looks different in a SaaS. So in a SaaS, the developers here, the sales folks here, the front line who's with our customer. That's where it matters the most. Like, it matters everywhere in the organization, but those are the folks where our mission matters, right? Who are touching our customer, who are building product for our customer. At Walmart, it's like the cashier, the people working in the store. They're the ones who have to really, where your culture's fostered.
Right.
Because that's who's serving the customer. So, I've always been in environments where you're serving, but ultimately everyone has a customer, right? Like, someone's paying for your product. So, but your customers are where, the front line, whoever's facing those folks, that's where you have to really foster, I think, the culture. And then it kind of feeds into everything else.
Yeah. How in an organization with a lot of people, where it's easy for those lines to get blurred or for the water to get muddied, how do you make sure it trickles down the way you'd want it to trickle down all the way to the front line?
There has to be a direct connection between the most senior people in an organization and that front line. The more bureaucracy you have, the less that's possible. So,
right.
Describe it. Yeah. Like, that has to exist. The flatter your organization, the easier that is to happen.
Sure.
The more traditional it is, and I mean traditional from like that hierarchy, like glass ceiling kind of environment. I'm going to make a joke, but the more it's like Mad Men, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Sure.
not. Yeah. So, moving towards realizing that we all have different accountabilities and responsibilities depending on our position in an organization, but that everyone, everyone's ideas and what they feel and think and how they contribute to the organization is just as important. Like, that's when the CEO and senior leadership connects to that, then I think things start to look like, I think you start to have a better culture.
Yeah, agreed.
Of listening, right? Like, there's the key, listening.